Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Facebook Live. If you missed the On the Money show yesterday morning, the show was all about the tax secrets of the uber rich, the top 1%. You know, last year Warren Buffett reported about $11.6 million in gross income on his tax return, and he paid $1.85 million in federal income tax. His 16% effective tax rate already sounds low, until you consider that his net worth increased by $12 billion in 2016. In fact, Warren Buffett's tax rate as a percentage of his wealth is a paltry 0.002%. So, you know, a lot of people, when they hear this, they say, well, how did these guys pull this off? How do they do it? And you're probably also wondering, how can I do that, right? Well, it's true. Many of America's wealthiest individuals use the tax laws to their benefit, and as a result, they get away with paying a fraction of the taxes that the middle class pay. In some cases, it's lower than the middle class. But some of these tax benefits just don't favor the rich. They could benefit you as well. You're probably just not taking advantage of them. It was interesting last year when the election was going on, Donald Trump was catching a lot of heat because he said, you know, 1 year, about 10 years ago, he didn't pay any federal income tax. And, you know, I thought to myself, well, why is everybody getting upset about that? Everybody would do the same thing if they had the opportunity. We actually had a program a couple days later. I said, how many people would rather pay no income tax? And all the hands went up. So he's doing what we aspire to do ourselves, and that's try to avoid as many taxes as possible. The thing with Warren Buffett, he received a $1 million dividend. If he receives a $1 million dividend from an investment, he'll pay a tax rate of 23.8%, 20% of capital gains, and then the 3.8 surtax for the additional tax on certain investment income because of his income. Meanwhile, if you were a surgeon and you earned $1 million from your job, you would pay a top tax rate of 39.6%. In addition, capital gains taxes are not assessed until the investment is sold. That's why Buffett didn't pay a dime of income tax on the $12 billion gain in net worth. Virtually all of that gain was in the form of his Berkshire Hathaway stock, so none of it was considered income by the IRS. The other thing that the uber rich do, and you should really make a habit of, is maximizing retirement accounts. If you contribute to a traditional IRA, you can set aside $5,500, $6,500 if you're older than 50, and it's deductible from your taxable income. Through a 401k or a similar retirement plan at work, you can choose to have up to $18,000 of your income, $24,000 if you're older than 50, deferred into your account. And better yet, certain pension plans and self-employment retirement plans allow contributions of up to $54,000, $60,000 with a catch-up for those over 50 that don't count toward taxable income. In other words, if you're a 50-year-old business owner and you earn $300,000 in profits this year, he or she could shelter up to $60,000 of it in a tax-deferred retirement account and avoid paying taxes on that $60,000. So you really got to be cognizant of your retirement plans available to you and be maxing them out. The mortgage interest deduction. Now, this is on the chopping block under tax reform by President Trump, but it's a tax deduction right now available to everyone, but it's used much more often by wealthy people. For starters, you're going to need to itemize deductions in order to take advantage of it, which is a more common practice among higher income brackets. So even though many low to middle income taxpayers pay a mortgage, they can't deduct their mortgage interest unless they're itemizing deductions. In a recent tax year, the mortgage interest deduction was taken on about 71% of higher earners' tax returns, but just 20% of returns with AGI under $200,000. And finally, and it was funny, once one guy even shared a story about a taxpayer who successfully claimed the interest on a yacht loan since the yacht technically met the IRS definition of a home. So the uber rich, they really do research the tax codes, and they try and gain as much as they can. The last thing is donating stock. Instead of donating cash, if you're going to make a charitable contribution, many wealthy individuals donate appreciated assets like stock. In fact, Warren Buffett, who has pledged to give away virtually all of his money to charity, makes his annual donations in Berkshire Hathaway stock. By donating stock, not only do people never have to pay tax on the capital gains in the stock, but they can deduct the full market value. For example, if a wealthy guy or gal donates $100,000 in stock, which they originally only paid $25,000 for, they avoid paying capital gains on the $75,000 investment profit, and they get to deduct the full $100,000 market value of the stock as a charitable contribution. So the bottom line here, to be fair, all four of these tax breaks are available to middle-class Americans as well as wealthy individuals. In fact, my wife and I are certainly not members of the 1%, but we take advantage of the mortgage interest deduction each year. We shelter as much income as possible in retirement accounts, and we have several investments that would trigger substantial capital gains taxes if we were to sell. The point is, these are tax breaks that in practice tend to disproportionately benefit the wealthy. However, you may be able to take advantage of some of these tax breaks as well. This has been another edition of Facebook Live.